Okay. Okay. So let me introduce a bit. Dr. Saidatul actually is a senior lecturer. Is a senior lecturer in Tunku, Puteri, Intan, Safinaz School of Accounting, College of Business, Universiti Utara, Malaysia. Actually, she is alumni of USM. She graduated from USM as well, in the holding a PhD degree in accounting and majoring in social and environmental accounting. So her research actually revolve around sustainability accounting and report taxation, creative accounting, communication, and media. Her main methodologies in research is a qualitative approach. That's why today we invite her to share with the student about the qualitative research, about his experience in qualitative research and mixed method research, and using the software of Nvivo with the students about a bit of exposures. So welcomes Dr. Saidatul. Okay, so the follow is yours. You will have about 1.5 hours, including the Q&A. Okay, so you can share the slides.
All right, thank you, Dr. Tang. Assalamualaikum and very good afternoon, everyone. Let me share my slide first. Okay, yeah. I hope you can see my slide now.
Yes, yes, can see.
All right, alhamdulillah. Okay, so our like Dr. Tan said just now, I am Dr. Saidatul from TISA UUM, and today I will be talking about qualitative data analysis with Nvivo. So qualitative data analysis with Nvivo, this is just an introduction. I'm not intending to go with it too in depth or too advanced. Maybe you guys can because we have not much time to actually explore this, but I try to cover as much as possible that you need to know before you start your data analysis with Nvivo lah. Okay, but before that, this is the what we are going to have for today. So the advertiser, we will be talking about what is qualitative research a bit. Maybe some of you is not familiar with qualitative research or data analysis, so I will be introducing you guys on that a little bit. For those of you who are advanced, don't mind me. I'm so sorry if I bore you with that. After that, the main course will look at how do we use Nvivo in analyzing qualitative data. So before we begin, I hope that we have one hour and a half. I think just enough time to explore the basic things. But I need you to please install Nvivo trial version. So this is the this is the link. You can also Google the link qsrinternational.com.nvivo. So I hope you already have that in your computer right now. So in the meantime, I will talk to you about the introduction, and maybe you can install it now. And after that, once I've done with the introduction, we will look at the software itself to do some hands-on activities lah. Okay, so before we begin, may I know how many of you here is doing qualitative research? Can you give me in chat who are doing qualitative research right now? 1, for doing qualitative research, and 2, who are not doing qualitative research or just coming here to explore what is qualitative research. May I have some answers from the audience, from the floor? 1 or 2? 1 if you're doing qualitative, number 2 if you're not. Or maybe you're doing mixed method, for example.
Sorry, I wanted to use mixed methodology with my thesis, but I see in the beginning.
Thank you, sir.
But most of thesis depend on qualitative.
I see. So I assume that
just complemented. Yes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So I assume a lot of you here is doing qualitative research. Yeah, I hope this will help. Okay, yeah, Mohammed Ravani is doing qualitative research. That's good. Okay, so we are talking in the same wavelength now. All right, so what is qualitative research? This is just an introduction, yeah. So essentially, qualitative research is the process of collecting, analyzing, interpreting non-numerical data. And normally it is a primary data captured in its natural setting, used to understand how individuals perceive and give meaning to their social reality. So it is very apt method, especially for social scientists, because we're dealing with people, we are dealing with phenomena, we are dealing with multiple realities. If we talk about politics, there's no one thing that you can say, okay, this political figure is talking about the right thing. He is right, he is wrong. No, there are multiple realities. He got his point, others have their points as well. So that is what qualitative research is about. You embrace the multiple realities, the multiple understanding and perceptions of everyone around you, and you make your case based on the evidence from your field. Okay, so that is used, the qualitative research itself is used to understand the context, used to understand people, used to understand interaction between people and how they make meaning in their normal life situation. If you wanted to know what happened during the flood, how people reacted, how people adapt to the new life after the flooding. So you can't just go and give them survey. You have to go and maybe look at them, observe, collect information, collect pictures, do some videos, and maybe for those people who are already a bit more stable, you can interview them, but be very mindful in interviewing those people in sensitive emotions. So that is how you be very apt in understanding what actually happened during the flooding circumstances. So qualitative research is very interesting. I hope a lot of you are doing it right now. So this is just an introduction, yeah? Okay, so difference between qualitative and quantitative, I would like to stress that it's a continuum. It's not a dichotomy. So if you can see, if qualitative research is on the far left and quantitative research is on the far right, you cannot say, if you are doing survey, you cannot say you are confirm. Quantitative, not necessarily. There must be qualitative things inside your research as well. So it's a continuum. It's not a dichotomy, right? But it is based on different assumptions, of course. So if quantitative person, I would like to give the analogy, they are much more of a scientist. They have to test theories, they have to test variables. So that is what they do on day-to-day basis. But for qualitative, I would like to call ourselves a bit more on the detective version of researchers. We are detective. We collect evidence, we come up with a case, or we come up with a explanation of what happened. Okay, so we're more about that investigation kind of thing. So not testing. And our generalizations is much more on theoretical generalization, not on the sample generalization or the population generalization. We don't aim for the generalization towards another set of population somewhere else. No, we are actually aiming for generalization of theory. If your qualitative research doesn't have theoretical contribution, there is no contribution. Like our speaker said just now, we are also when you publish, whether it is quantitative, whether it qualitative, you have to have contribution. And in qualitative research, your main contribution is theoretical contribution. You have to remember that when you are doing your research question. You have to remember that when you're doing analysis. How is it that your analysis, your findings contribute to theory? That is your main task in qualitative research. What is it that people will learn more from your findings that they didn't know yet from that theory? What is it that from your findings can actually extend the theory? So that is your task, and not just really to make the case from your evidences. Okay, so if you can see this in this picture, this is a normal crime scene investigation of any drama or any movie that you can see. Can you tell me what is the similarities between qualitative research and also this picture, and also making an investigation of a crime scene investigation? What is the similarities? May I know? Can I have some answers? What is the similarities between qualitative and also doing crime scene investigation? What do we do in qualitative research normally? Anyone? Anyone would like to share? Or you cannot see any differences or similarities between the two? I'm waiting. Yes. What is the similarities between the process of doing qualitative research and doing a crime scene investigation? What is it? What's similar about these two processes? A lot of similarities.
Yeah. Is it regarding a primary data or secondary data?
Yes. Yeah. Good try. Lagi? What do we do? What do you do when you are investigating a crime scene? You go and take pictures. Yes, you go and observe, take evidence, take pictures. You go and interview people, right? They interview the suspect, all those people who are... Yeah. Sorry?
Collect documents.
Yes, collect document, correct. Collect document. Sherlock Holmes. That is Sherlock Holmes punya work, yeah? Yeah, so that if you can see, actually, we as qualitative research, we did a lot of things similar to those people in FBI. We interview people, we don't just take one person point of view, we don't just take one person punya evidence, we cross-check our evidence. So one person said this, another person said another thing, so we cross-check with the evidence, with the source document. So we do a lot of that in qualitative research. We're actually a detective some kind, yeah. So that is the similarities. So you have to approach qualitative research in that kind. You cannot just rely on one evidence and call it a day. You cannot just interview people and call it a day. Cannot. Qualitative research has the element of reliability and verifiability, and of course internal validity as well. So you have to take care of that. Not just in quantitative, we are talking about this reliability and verifiability. This is also important in qualitative research. And how do you actually achieve that? Is by data triangulation, method triangulation, sources triangulation. So all of that can actually ensure that your findings later on is based on solid evidence, not just from one sources or from assumptions. Okay, so I hope that puts things into perspective for qualitative researchers. All right, so qualitative researchers also, you have to understand that for quantitative, it doesn't matter much because they are memang confirm objective. But for us who are coming from subjectivism, and we are the minority, the qualitative researcher are the minority as compared to the quantitative counterparts. So you have to be very clear, where does your thinking come from? Where does your design come from? So it has to be very clear from the ontology side, from the epistemology side, which will influence methodology that you will choose, and also the techniques or the methods and data analysis approaches that we will be doing. So it comes from the paradigms. Okay, so if you are interpretivist, so you have your own paradigm. If you are action research, if you are critical realist, all of this will determine what kind of data that you need, what kind of analysis that you need, because analysis ada banyak. Analysis, we have thematic analysis, that is the normal one, which I will be also teaching you today as well. We have discourse analysis. If you're studying language, we have hermeneutic analysis, we have grounded theory analysis, we have template analysis. So there's a lot of analysis which will be determined by, of course, your research question, but of course from also your paradigms. Okay, so that is why you have to be very clear on from where are you coming from in terms of qualitative methodology. So it's not just talking about methodology, it is higher above. Okay, so essentially, this is, to summarize, qualitative research characteristic. It is in natural setting. Researcher is a key instrument of data collection. If in quantitative research, you are really focusing on how do I get the most solid survey. So you do expert review, you do pilot tests, you run some reliability, validity tests to make sure your survey or your instrument is solid. Okay, but for us in qualitative research, we are the instrument. You are the instrument to do the research. So you and your quality as an instrument will determine the quality of the data, will determine the quality of your writing. So what do you do to make sure that you are the best instrument? You add up on your skills. Okay, if you need to interview people, you have to know how to interview people, that you can get the most rich data from the interview itself. So you have to learn how to do interviews. If you're not really social butterflies, how do you meet people? How do you make sure that they can talk to you? How do you make sure that people are comfortable in sharing their most inner emotions and feelings with you? That is a skill. So you are the instrument and you have to sharpen yourself, because if not, then you will get lousy data. Lousy data won't get you anywhere. You cannot do anything with the lousy data. You have to go back to the field and collect back. So that is the danger. It is a multiple methods. Who says a qualitative is just about interview? We have a lot more. We have observations. We have data content analysis as well. That is qualitative content analysis. We also have interviews, of course, and a lot more things that you can do in qualitative research. And you cannot just focus on one thing. You also have to look at from other perspective or other evidences as well. It is a complex reasoning through deductive and inductive approach. Focus on participants' meaning, not your meaning. You bring theory to the field, but you didn't give meaning to that theory. Your participant give meaning to the theory. So you take it from their words. So when you interview, you cannot just focus on the question that you are asking. Make sure the question is very basic, is very easy to understand. You want your interviewee talk more than you. Okay, so not you talk more than the interviewee. So if you talk more, there's no data. And if your question leads them to just answer okay, okay, not okay, there you go on your data. There is no data in okay, not okay, right? So the way you rephrase, the way you phrase your questions is very important for you, whether you get quality data or not. Okay, so seasoned qualitative researcher will know when they look at interview transcript, they know this is rich or this is very shallow. If a lot of okay, cannot use. Okay, it doesn't explain anything. What is okay, what is okay. So it has to be open-ended. Emergent design, reflective. So every single interviews, every single research method, you have to reflect on yourself, on how you're doing, on how this is going, where do you go after this, what is your next step. If you're doing snowballing, after this, who are you talking to make sure your data is rich. So all of that, every single step of the way, and you have to determine when you will stop. You and of course your supervisors will determine when you will stop, when the data reach saturation. And when do you know it is reaching saturation? When every single interview, after a few interviews, maybe 10 or 20, you get almost the same answer. You can already see the pattern. That is meaning of saturation in qualitative research. Okay, and holistic account. Yeah. Okay, so that is from Craswell. Now, have you done interviews, focus group penada, observation, document artifact analysis, journal notes and reflections? What do you do? When do you collect data? When you have collect data, what do you do with it? For example, when do you begin your data analysis lah? Senang cerita. When do you begin your data analysis actually? After you collected all the data or when? Kita nak masuk dah data analysis. We are also approaching towards the analysis already. When do you begin your data analysis? I wanted to know. Come on, guys. It's 3:54 now. Very challenging timing, eh? Come on, when do you do your data analysis? At the end? When you have collected everything, and then you feel that you have enough data, and then you begin your analysis, or what? Or you haven't gone into that particular phase yet? Please interact with me. I would love some interactions. Or you have no idea when to begin your data analysis. It's okay. I'll give you some idea, because I can see that you are maybe a bit too focused on the 4 slides. Okay. When there is no more respondents, okay. Muhammad Revani, it is partly true and it is partly wrong, yeah? You cannot do data analysis at the end. It doesn't happen that way in qualitative research. In quantitative, yes. Once you collect all your surveys, all your secondary data and all, then you begin analysis. You cannot do that in qualitative research, or else you will end up with a very confusing process and very confusing data, and it will take you so long to finish data analysis. When do you begin? You begin now. Begin now to bila? Begin before you even interview people, before you even go to the field. What do you do first? You have to do context analysis. You have to read the background. You have to do your research before you go. That is when you begin your analysis actually. You can already gauge what will happen. You only gauge, yeah? It's not that it's necessarily will happen the way you gauge it. But you can already gauge from your preliminary investigation before you go to the field. And then when you go to field, each and every time after you interview, you analyze. Each and every time you go and then you balik, you terus transcribe, you analyze. Okay, analyze how? You make sense of it. You have to make sense. What happened? Because each and every interview will lead you into the next interview. Each and every data collection phase will lead you into the next phase. So if you don't analyze in each phase, how do you know where you're going after? You don't know. Okay, there's no like from A to Z. It doesn't work like that in qualitative research. Okay, it doesn't work like that. So you have to know from the minute you are doing your interview, for example. After your interview, you I know all this already. Now I need to know this. Okay, I will talk to this. I will talk to this person. Then you talk to that person, and then that person actually try to show you there's something more in one particular topic, and you have to investigate more. So he asks you to talk to another person. So that is how snowball works, right? So if you don't read back your transcript after each interview, how do you know where do you take your next step? You cannot. So analysis actually starts from the beginning in terms of qualitative research. If they taught you otherwise, then it is wrong. Your research will be, it is going mindless way. You cannot gauge where is it going. So you are in this loop of where is it stopping? Where are we going? So who should we approach after this? What should we do? Because we don't analyze what happened already. What do you have already? After that, and then you know what you have to do more, so that you know when to stop. Okay, so my principle, what you take, the things that you start, you have to stop. Okay, there's a beginning, there's ending. You have to have exit strategy in anything that you do. Okay, especially PhD. Alright, so that is why a lot of people say PhD in qualitative research is very hard and very time consuming. It's actually your strategy. I finished my PhD in 2 years and 9 months doing fully qualitative research.